Hey there, welcome back to my channel on Build. This stream is about without a crystal ball on Instagram Live, going after Joe Rogan in February of this year. Yeah, not far back, but still pretty far back. So check the description, you'll see more info, links, and the timestamps down there. So let's get into it.
I can't think. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Yeah. I can't. What am I supposed to do?
Oh, hello everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Like I said, I'm Bill. How are you going? I really hope you guys are going well. I just need to say if my voice gets croaky, because my voice probably will get croaky. It's been checking in and then checking out. So hopefully my voice will not go away. Oh, it's so good to be back. I feel like I've been gone forever. Like I went MIA again last week, but yeah, all to do with just not getting Rona. But yeah, anyway, let's okay, yeah, like I said, the description box is where you want to head if you want to find timestamps to just jump past all my bullshit. You'll also find more info, more clarifying information, because you're not going to get really that with my mouth and my brain when we go live, because it's hard to get them to communicate. But yeah, you'll also find links to the lives and whatever else, but no, not whatever else. That is the crucial thing. If you keep scrolling, you'll find a cactus, and there you will find the link to become a member. The Cactus contributors, yes, because they contribute. Fucking literal, you know, literally. Fucking shit. What is with it? There must be some weird energy. It's just throwing me off lately. Just doing a breath. Yeah, so the Cactus contributors, they get extra stuff and they get the badge and they get shout outs, and we have a new one. We have a newbie. And you've given me a great sentence. I love this name. One-armed Wonder Warden. Oh, I messed it up because it was WW. Thank you so much, though, for becoming a contributor. And hopefully, when it comes around to me giving you another shout out, I can do it fucking better justice. I'm so not on this planet, but is Katie? Is Katie? And do I really even need to be on this planet to take in Katie? No, I don't think so. As long as I'm grounded. No, but yeah, so I just need to breathe. Okay. Where are we? Yep, there's going to be 3 parts of this, but all in this one video. Going to go back to February 7 and 8 of this year. Katie on Instagram. So I missed this, but I got the video and stuff. I missed this because I came back in March from my 3 months away, but yeah, she went after Joe Rogan. Should I say, who is Joe Rogan? Do we even need to say? Well, maybe if you aren't listening to the Joe Rogan podcast or haven't come across Joe Rogan, He also commentates the UFC. He's been doing that for like, I don't know, forever, since the 90s. And yeah, he's a stand-up comedian, and yeah, he's a podcaster. Why is the brain connection so hard? Come on, guys, pull it together. Stand-up comedian, podcast host of his, Joe Rogan Experience. It's like my favorite podcast. It's so open-minded. The amount of people that come on there, like the amount of books that I've had to fucking buy because of this podcast. Anyone from other stand-up comedians or people in bands to psychologists, neuroscience, everything. And it's just, it's always as well presenting both sides, like, let us understand your point of view and break it down. Like the one with the flat earther, like that's what I love. It reminds me, but I did study philosophy, and like, that's what the philosophers and stuff, and they used to gather and present their theories, and everyone would just listen, and you would like discuss, and you wouldn't attack people and stuff. And I love that kind of stuff. And that's what his podcast is like. And yeah, so he started at 2009 or 10. And yeah, it's the biggest podcast in the world. And we're going to go to Katie's. First off, she did the Instagram story. Because let's bring it in. Have I even hooked it up? I think I have. That's when it becomes. So this is his apology video, an old clip resurfaced of him like using racial slurs. But I'll just read what Katie wrote. But I just need a drink first because there's a big long article. Sorry, Katie, I gave you too much credit then when I said article. What am I doing? Post. Okay, what's going on? Let's read this. From February 7 this year. Without a crystal ball, wrote, Joe Rogan is in serious trouble over on Spotify after a clip of him repeatedly using the N-word went viral last week. Singer India Ari shared the video after announcing her departure from the app. From the app? It's not just an app, it's a platform. That's weird, isn't it? Okay, don't get hung up on it. That's what you've turned me into, Katie. Ari stated that being on a platform that pays cents on the dollar for music to musicians while paying Rogan $100 million was her reason for leaving. Well, that's her reason. Other artists have left over Rogan's repeated misinformation he spread about COVID. He is sharing like both sides. Just because he had like an anti-vaxxer on, that's not sharing different. And also, like, not everyone believes his beliefs either. He can have different beliefs than his viewers. It's very weird how she thinks. Throwing me off. I've thrown myself off. Spotify stated they will not remove him from the platform. They said Joe deleted old episodes of his podcast. 113 in total were removed. Sorry, it never flows. I feel like I need to use more of my brain to read her stuff, because I know there's not going to be any breath or anything. Joe also posted this apology following his discussion with Spotify about their unhappiness with this N-word use. Why can't she just address it in another way rather than he use the N-word? Like, you know, just it's so literal. This apology seems off. This apology seems off in that he apologizes for racist comments while also trying to explain away the comments. Katie, well, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. He claims this is a learning moment. Something you've never had before. You're so confused at this. It's, ooh, I can't wait to say it when it's meant to be said, not halfway through reading this. I've got to hold it in. He claims this is a learning moment. All I can say is that I'm glad I don't watch his podcast. Why are you so dumb? Why are you so dumb? Yes, there's also video included, but who fucking sits down and watches it? Unless there's visuals that you need to watch, or like, you know, recently I only discovered that you can play it off Spotify, the video, because I've just been listening. Have I been missing out? But I don't think so, because I don't want to waste sitting time. I've got stuff to do. Okay. Where are we? Where were you when you were like, I don't want to watch his podcast? Sounds like, you know, my mum. Like, I keep trying to explain what a podcast is, and I'm like, it's like a radio show or something. She's like, I don't want to watch that kind of stuff. Right? Like Katie. But my mum's older than Katie, and okay. Making that statement 11 years ago wasn't appropriate. Using the N-word 8 years ago wasn't appropriate. The PAULSON finger. The N-word is not a word that should be uttered by white people ever. Why the fuck did you have to put the word white? That's your surroundings. That's where you were brought up. You talk about how you never really, you had like maybe 1 or 2 people of color in your high school. Like, that does not sound good. A place to be raised, in my opinion. But, you know, it's not until you get out from under your parents' shit and experience the world and you learn not to talk like this. Anyway, yeah, the person is going to say exactly what I'm going to say. So I have to press play. Imagine if my mic wasn't on. I only came back to check.
Cast about how me and my friend Tommy and his girlfriend, we got really high. We were in Philadelphia and we went to go see Planet of the Apes. And we didn't know where we were going. We just got dropped off by a cab and we got dropped off in this all black neighborhood. And I was trying to make the story entertaining. And I said, we got out and it was like we were in Africa. It's like we were in Planet of the Apes. I did not, nor would I ever say that black people are apes, but it sure fucking sounded like that. And I immediately afterwards said, that's a racist thing to say. Planet of the Apes wasn't even in Africa. I was just saying there's a lot of black people there. But then I went on to talk about what a positive experience it was and how much fun it was to go to see this movie in a black neighborhood. It wasn't a racist story. Another clip.
Okay, so now when we listen back, I'm going to read what Katie is writing on the screen as it goes. And what shits me is, why can't she fucking write it down? She's writing it on his face. Who does that? Who writes on their face? Like, that's fucking disrespectful as fuck. But yeah, it's just the self-awareness. Katie would never have this kind of self-awareness when she's apologizing, going, I can't believe that came out of my mouth. And holy shit, that is racist. Like, she would never admit to her wrongs, like, so openly. So, you know, seeing the big picture, because then she would think that would make her a racist. But that's not what is happening here, Katie. Now we're just gonna, this is what Katie thinks is going on.
That I have to address. There's a clip from 11 years ago. I was telling a story on the pod.
It's on the screen. It says, "Tell me you're racist," while telling me you're racist. She got it wrong. She got the saying wrong. Tell me you're racist while telling me you're racist, but denying you're racist. So basically, Katie, tell me you're racist while not telling me you're racist or something. Just what the fuck? Just the opposite. You don't need to say all that shit. Fuck, she's so immature.
Podcast about how me and my friend Tommy and his girlfriend, we got really high. We were in Philadelphia and we went to go see Planet of the Apes. And we didn't know where we were going. We just got dropped off by a cab and we got dropped off in this all black neighborhood. And I was trying to make the story entertaining. And I said, we got out and it was like we were in Africa.
Katie says, whoa, that's racist. It's actually not, like, because when you're high, stoned, Joe Rogan loves weed, opens his mind and shit like everyone, and, well, you know, just whatever. But also, like, he's a comedian, so you kind of, this kind of stuff just flows off your tongue, but then he's able to see he's wrong. Have you ever seen the episode of Riding in Cars with Comedians? Ricky Gervais. Is that how you say it? Oh my God, I don't know if I've ever said that out loud. Have I? But I've heard it, so that should be it. Oh, fuck. Editing would be great, wouldn't it? Yeah, so, and he did that China joke, and he really pushed the boundary, but, like, he didn't overstep it because there is a sense of awareness there, which makes it funny. Like, two white guys feeling like, I don't know, the only white people. It's just fucking Katie. Who is she to even call? From where she's sitting in Minnesota. Privileged as fuck. Okay, that's got nothing to do with it, but.
It's like we were in Planet of the Apes. I did not, nor would
Katie says, you did not just say this.
would I ever say that black people are apes, but it sure fucking sounded like that.
Katie said, except you legit just said that. She just gets so focused on the word she can't hear. I don't think she's even listening to what he's saying.
And I immediately afterwards said, that's a racist thing to say. Planet of the Apes wasn't even in Africa.
Katie says, so you're a racist. Got it.
I was just saying there's a lot of black people there. But then I went on to talk about what a positive experience it was and how much fun it was to go to see this movie in a black neighborhood.
Oh, so that makes everything okay. Got it.
It wasn't a racist story. Another clip.
Exactly. Out of context, I guess it could have been a racist story if they had cut off that he was aware that he made a racist joke. Imagine not even being aware. I think without the awareness, that would make you a fucking racist because you don't know the boundaries and the social, like, structure of shit and how to fucking respect people. I'm just like, even just saying white people in your thing is still throwing me off. Just okay. So then she did an IG live the next day. It might be the same day, but it might have been later on. And like I said, I'm in Australia, so I'm 12 hours ahead. kind of messes up the dates, but you know, general gist in the ballpark. Okay, hang on. Let me just, that's what, oh, do you know what was throwing me off? My tabs were around the wrong way. I never have that tab there. Okay, 1 second. While I do driving and try to talk at the same time, but that's not what I made. I could just go back, but I just get lost, and I'm just going to do a paste situation. Oh, it's so scary. Is it? Well, it's scary because it's the 2 strands at the front. That's not the reason. Okay, it's pretty much just the beginning, I think. And whew, are we ready? Because we are going in now. Okay, breathing. Just a quick question. If you had a necklace on and a turtleneck or a high neck, would you even fucking bother bringing the necklace over? Oh, now it just looks like a swing or something. Okay, anyway, we're not focusing there. We are going in and pressing play. February, whatever, this year.
Hello, everyone. I don't have super long. I was going to do another YouTube video. I was just going to come on here very quickly because I wanted to talk really quickly about some of the stuff you guys are saying on my channel. So I'm going to turn off comments because I just want to be like uninterrupted. I don't want to get distracted, and I'm not here to fight with trolls. But you know, every person has a right to have a platform, and whether or not you agree with their opinion is your choice. I'm not trying to take away Joe Rogan's platform. I think it's very odd that I made a comment about his video, which I believed was a racist apology to a response about comments he factually made, was my opinion. Nowhere in there did I say that he should be canceled. Nowhere did I say that Spotify should pull his podcast. Nowhere did I say that he doesn't deserve to be on social media. I didn't say any of those things. I commented on what he said and what I felt. A lot of people are projecting that and insinuating that I'm trying to cancel someone because I made one post about him. I don't follow Joe Rogan, but I also want to say something very quickly. Like, I know who Joe Rogan is. Like, you guys, I'm 43 years old. Joe Rogan has been around forever. He was hugely popular when I was like in my 20s. And he was like the dude. He was like the guy's guy, like the douchebag that I just wasn't into. And if that's what you're into, that's fine. Nobody's going to take away your guy. And if Spotify were to get rid of the douchebag that I just wasn't into, and if that's what you're into, that's fine. Nobody's going to take away your guy. And if Spotify were to get rid of his podcast, believe you me, there's a zillion other platforms that will take him. He has a huge audience, and clearly people enjoy listening to him. Whether I agree with him or not is really irrelevant. I just think that sometimes when anything I say, it's accused of like being an attack on someone, which, by the way,
by the way, Katie, that's what you do from your past behavior. So now she's on to Joe Rogan. People know from what you have done previously how you attack people and you try to tear them down. You try to go after sponsors. Well, you do go after sponsors and you get sponsors cancelled. Yeah. 7M. How are you going, Katie? How are you going? 7 Maxine. There's so many 7M things. Like, do you have a 7M mobile? Is it like it hangs from the ceiling and you just watch that at night when you go to sleep? I don't know where that came from.
I don't know where you grew up. Where I grew up, you don't use the N-word. And where I grew up, you don't speak like that about people. You don't talk to people like that. Okay. And if that bothers you that I'm against that, like, I think that's it's a weird line to draw in the sand for you to say, I'm going to unfollow you because you don't like it that people say the N-word. I'm constantly amazed how anytime I speak up for anyone that's not white, I'm told that I'm evolving into like critical race theory or some bullshit. Like, I don't even know. Like, I'm just talking about humanity. I don't care what theories you want to talk about. I'm talking about humanity. People should deserve to be treated like people. And no one should be dehumanized by being called the N-word. And it's not our business as white people to argue about whether or not it's appropriate for a person of color to use that word. It's none of our business. It's clear that it's a hard line in the sand that we should not be saying it. And it's up to each person of color to decide if they want to use the word. Whether or not you agree with that or not is not up to me. Some people of color use it, other people don't.
Can you just stop talking as if you know? Move on. Talk about what you know from you. This is weird. Where I'm from, where you're from, it's not a very multicultural. From your description, I'll link the video below where she goes through where she grew up and the people there and, you know, everything. Oh, did I say every? That's my voice. Everything.
And it's completely up to the person. But at the end of the day, it's not our story. It's not our legacy. And if we find ourselves as white people being so upset by someone that's white using the N-word and calling out the racism, sometimes I think like maybe we need to look into ourselves and be like, why is that bothering me? Is it because I hold similar feelings? Is it because calling this out means that I would be forced to look at something inside of myself? Like if I'm held accountable constantly, I don't know if you realize, but there's like entire haters that are dedicated to like everything I say. I could say that I hate. Someone in my comments literally just told me that my comments about Whoopi Goldberg's comments on the Holocaust, which by the way, I didn't agree with, I thought were racist and I thought were dangerous. Apparently this hater hated that so much so that she agreed with Whoopi Goldberg. So she hated the fact that I said it was dangerous to speak about the Holocaust that way, that she disagreed to make a video claiming, and I didn't watch the video, this is just what someone in my comments said, to just agree with Whoopi for the sake of disagreeing with me. Like,
people are allowed to disagree with you and it's got nothing to do with you. I had more, but I feel like I've just got to keep play. But after this, after we watch the bit here about Joe Rogan, the third part of this stream will be a Joe Rogan clip about the category that Katie fits into the best and just really why she should listen to this podcast. Yes, you listen to podcasts, Katie.
do you realize how ridiculous that is? You don't have to like someone to not to like agree with points of view that they have. And if you hate someone so much that you will counteract and disagree with everything that they say just because you don't like the person, you probably have a hate in your heart for something that isn't related to that person. If somebody online makes you so angry because of their reporting on something, I think maybe you need to think about what's going on in your life. I don't know. Either way, it's disconcerting because I shouldn't fear having to speak up about this kind of stuff and speak out against this kind of stuff for fear that people are going to unfollow me because, God forbid, I say saying the N-word is wrong and it's racist. I didn't grow up using that word. I'm 43 years old. I didn't grow up being in a society that was okay with that kind of behavior. I didn't have friends like Joe Rogan. Those were not my pals. It's common human decency to not use that word.
What do you mean? I didn't have friends like Joe Rogan. You just said you don't watch his podcast. You don't, you are basing him off this one clip, which you are taking out of context. You can't see beyond him saying this. He's saying this, but he has the awareness to apologize. And then in that fucking apology, shares the big picture that you are fucking missing, Katie. You always miss it because you have fucking tunnel vision on the bad shit. And that's what people are telling you, that you don't know Joe Rogan. You just shit stirring. No, that's not it. Yeah, pretty much. Not. But you just basing off this one thing. Maybe you should have done a bigger investigation. Who is he? Blah, blah, beyond that. But, you probably can't. People don't change in the Paulson house. They remain the same. No one learns, no one grows. So we can't expect Joe Rogan to have learned, can we? No. Okay, Katie.
And calling out someone doesn't mean you're canceling them. And people are like, well, didn't Howard Stern get in trouble? Yeah, I think I Googled it and Howard Stern got called out for his blackface last year. Like, anyone can say anything on a platform, and we all say things that we regret. And we
got to say, like, Howard Stern, he's not racist. His actual co-host is Robin, who is a person of color. So this is again where she doesn't understand. Yes, there's a boundary, but you can, in the art of like comedy or broadcasting, where most of them are comedians, push the limits of thought, but don't ever cross the boundary. And the awareness that is there. Okay, sorry, I gotta not cut in. I gotta not apologize as well.
it's how we recover from it and how we learn and grow, right? Comedians face a lot of scrutiny today because jokes that were funny 20 years ago are not funny today. And that's evident by what you see on Saturday Night Live or on sitcoms. But we can't lose our whole sense of like humor. We can't lose our whole sense of, I agree that we don't need to be canceling people based on the past. But if past statements remain current on someone's platform and someone can still access it, to the person that finds that content, they don't know when that was made. So for Joe, for instance, and this is just an example, he makes this video or he makes this apology video and he's got 100 videos on his, or 100 podcasts where he's using the N-word. If you have someone just searching his archives and they just happen to stumble upon one, they might not look at the date. So to them, it's a brand new podcast. So that's kind of the difference with your online platform. Every creator has the ability to remove things and change things, and every single person should grow. I agree. And if someone makes a mistake, they should apologize. I mean, hell, I've made enough mistakes in my day. I've apologized. But
you have not apologized. And just then you ended, I have apologized, but that's what all your apologies are. I apologize, but, or I'm sorry that I made you feel that way, but I'm just doing my job. This is what reporters do. You never fucking take accountability ever. And then the only minimal times that you do apologize, you fucking delete it after, because maybe that bravery moment where you were going to stand up and take accountability was, doused by a lot of booze and a lot of confusion. What's going on? And am I meant to grow? Don't throw me off. Don't throw me off. But also, people aren't dumb, Katie. If someone found an old clip of you, they'd know based on the eyebrows or the hair that it's an old clip without even looking for the date. People aren't dumb. You can go and look for the Joe Rogan clip. You can clearly see that he's younger. Yeah. So imagine if she listened to Joe Rogan. Imagine. But I can imagine her saying, like, why would I want to listen to, like, a psychologist talking, which is what we're going to listen to at the end? Why wouldn't you? When they're a fucking specialist in their field and they're willing to come on a podcast and break that down so the average person can understand. And it's just amazing listening to someone who's passionate about something else. When they're so passionate, I mean, it's intriguing. I find myself listening to stuff, I'm like, I would never listen to this. Like, or the, not Tai Chi, what's the martial arts stuff? Like, I never thought I would ever listen to that. And I've learned so much, Katie. You can never, yeah. What are we doing? Does she get to the point? I can't remember if I had a timestamp. Are we even doing the right?
Calling someone out and saying this is racist really doesn't quantify the vitriol that happens in the comments. It's like, I don't know if you guys really truly think that your world is under attack, because that's not the case. Like, nobody's trying to steal your thunder. No one's trying to steal your voice. And I conversely, I want to say this too. The same people that scream at me and say that I'm canceling people are the same people that want to cancel me. I get emails every day from people that tell me I'm an evil bitch and that, I'm a horrible human being and I'm going to hell. And I mean, you should see my inbox. It's ridiculous. I get the most atrocious messages from people and I'm like, yo, you don't even know me. That's intense, right? but I don't let it get to me and I don't let it go. I just like let it go, you know? And 99% of the time I just am like, okay, this person's mad, whatever. You're talking about their favorite human being or whatever it is.
Did you just say human being? Did you not? I'm a little bit deaf.
But have we lost sight in our world where our only response to people that we don't know on the internet is to literally like curse, right? But I don't let it get to me and I don't let it go. I just like let it go, you know? And 99% of the time I just am like, okay, this person's mad, whatever. You're talking about their favorite human being or whatever it is. But have we lost sight in our world where our only response to people that we don't know on the internet is to literally like curse out strangers that we don't know and yell and scream and puff up the chest the loudest? Like if I'm bothering you, and I just want to remind you, I'm a 43-year-old mom. You
Oh, I never heard that bit before where she says puff out her chest. Which is that what like gorillas or something primitive would do? Because yeah, that's also in the clip. Wow, I've done well without even knowing it. Katie, you're saying all this stuff like that people say to you. You don't even know me. Well, you don't even know Joe Rogan. You've singled out one thing and you're just going at it like he's so bad, but you can't see. I'm going to have to continue using the bigger picture. I can't think of another way to say it. Like, because you're just a tunnel of, I don't know. It's not truth. Katie, please don't ever do 2 strands and the rest tucked behind the ear. I don't think it's good. It's not good. After what year? 2000 probably. No, I'm joking.
can hear my son. He's getting ready to go to bed. I've got 2 dogs and a couple cats. And
you don't have a couple of cats. You have 4 cats and 2 dogs, 2 hunting dogs, adopted, trauma, fuck. All inside animals, cats unvaccinated. Don't get me started on your couple of cats named after Charles Darwin too. So if you want to talk like, you know, the real species, we can get down to business. We can look at her face. Oh.
I live in the suburbs or the exurbs in the middle kind of the country. I mean, I don't have a super offensive life. I don't do a lot of really bad things. I have definitely made mistakes in my life. I was definitely arrested when I was 25 years old. I mean, nobody's perfect. But anytime someone puts themselves out there in the public, they know that things that they say can be found and they might have to respond.
Yep, Katie, with you. Everything's archived. You don't need to respond, but it's good to get what you're saying out there. No one's being a troll except you. And you don't do anything offensive. Your whole channel is offensive to the Duggars, for example, to the Duggar women, for example, for every fucking victim out there, for example.
Part of being a public figure. So, whoa, that's not what I was trying to do. Thanks. Okay, I was trying to.
Holy shit, is anyone watching this? That scared the shit out of me. Let's go back and watch it again. Katie's filter just came on and it was full on cartoon eyes. And I was wondering whether that was reality or what was in my tea.
Turn on my camera. Things that they say can be found and they might have to respond. It's a part of being a public figure. So, whoa, that's not what I was trying to do. Thanks. Okay, I was trying to turn on my camera. Turn on comments. My light got really dim for some reason. I just think in general, people are really still like super angry, lockdown, frustrated, want to kill the world. And I don't understand that. Like, why do you want to? I don't even know. And you know, you guys, I get a lot of these messages. I just want to say something. I've shared this multiple times, but if you're new here, I don't care if people talk about me. So if you see a YouTuber that makes videos about me, I don't need you to send me the videos.
No need to send the video. She's already fucking subscribed to everyone under all her soccer accounts. She's got to check into the ones and watch them. That's all she does. I mean, 16 hours a day on, then, you know, she's got to fill that with something. And I don't watch them, you know, it was in the comments, or someone sent me, you know, all the info in the DMs, or all this. There's so much going on in your inbox. Oh, that's a video in itself.
Don't need you to tell me that someone on YouTube hates me. I don't care if so-and-so made a video about me or so-and-so said this about me. Like, none of that is relevant. You know, it doesn't matter to me. If there's an account that's trolling me, like, I don't care.
I don't care. Why do you look so insecure right now? If you believed what you just said, you'd fucking have your chest puffed out, shoulders back, confident. You don't look very confident in what you just said. Just letting you know. Plus this fucking angle, right?
I'm glad that you were arrested at 25. It gives you a perspective that most other people do not have. Keep digging up the receipts and spreading that far wide. They just want you to soak up the negativity so you don't focus on their BS. Well, thankfully, my arrest was a misdemeanor. Thankfully, I didn't hurt anyone. I'm glad that you were arrested at 25. It gives you a perspective that most other people do not have. Keep digging up the receipts and spreading that far wide. They just want you to soak up the negativity so you don't focus on their BS. Well, thankfully, my arrest was a misdemeanor. Thankfully, I didn't hurt anyone.
FARRAH. FARRAH's in the house. FARRAH Abraham. When Dr. Phil confronted FARRAH, she's from Teen Mum. She's from a lot of other things too. Sorry, I'm not laughing at that. On his show, that was her exact thing. The face, the wide eyes, staring down, making a joke of it. You are pathetic.
But I've never hidden that. No one's perfect, though. And I think there is a responsibility of people who have huge contracts with profitable companies that have a lot of African-American artists on their platform to be mindful of the content that they're putting out. Joe Rogan's reach is.
Do you think that only Joe Rogan only has a white audience? I'm thinking that you think that that is real. Are you fucking dumb? That, yes, there's other people of color on the platform, Spotify. Let's just narrow it down and talk about his podcast. Why didn't you research and have a look back? See if he's had any people of color on his podcast. You are the most, in my opinion, racist person. So is your husband. I worry how you are raising your son. You don't seem to want to expand your knowledge, worldly knowledge. You're just really happy with your tunnel vision in only seeing the negative shit from people. You think that people, you think that you're trolls. There's no one trolling you. There's no one hating you. No one hates you, Katie. I don't know. I threw myself off there. But no one wants to cancel you. People want you to be held accountable for the shit you've done, the damage you have done, the harm you have caused people. you might not learn and grow and have any fucking knowledge in your little brain about the shit that you've done because, you know, you slosh it down with wine and then that's done. It's a brand new day. I can't remember what happened yesterday or the week before, and who fucking cares, because I'm Katie Joy. My brain is amazing when I'm using everything. And no, I could have gone so into song there, but let's get back to your bull dang parade. Farrah is like but the similarities between, like, you know, Farrah and, because she's also a narcissist, in my opinion. Okay, let's go.
So big that he needs to be aware of who he's talking about and what he's saying.
Do you want to play the video again? Because he was fucking aware of what he was saying. Again, I don't think you listen. I feel like we need to re-listen to it again. I don't know what you heard, but yeah, from your little text on what you wrote on his video over his mouth, not further down, you know, like most people would give respect to someone at least by not writing on their face. But yeah, that's what you were doing. And he was explaining how, fuck, I can't believe I said that. Fuck, he said that he's high as well. It was a fucking, like a high joke story that went wrong. And he saw where it went wrong, but you didn't see where it went wrong because you were like, that's wrong, and I'm focusing in on that, and there's no growing from here, Joe. Katie Joy has her PAULSON finger up, and it's pointing right at you down that tunnel. And, it, you know, if the tunnel fits, if the tunnel fits the finger of the PAULSON pointing it, then you are it. I'm so glad that she didn't hyper focus on him and go, because I think so many people were like, bitch, you better back the fuck up. That's what I would have said in February, Katie.
Well, yeah, if you're upset about Joe, exactly, someone said be mad at Joe. I mean, if you're upset about what Joe has said, or if you're upset that people are trying to cancel him, maybe ask Joe to do better. I don't know.
Why can't you? Like, why can't you take a different approach to how you want to call him out? You never really offer any, let's talk it out, Joe. Let's have a good old conversation at the table. I'll bring what I've got and you'll bring what you've got. And I'll realize that I've got nothing because I've got a tunnel and I don't see the big picture ever. No. Just fucking spewing words. I don't want to go back. We've got to go back because now it's great. The chat is turning.
Yeah, and Joe's reach is humongous. No, I don't just report on Republicans, but I don't go after, like, I don't even know what Joe Rogan's politics are. I didn't know that you had to be a Republican to be racist. Like, what does Joe's political affiliation have to do with him saying the N-word? Like, really? If you are a Republican and you hold the N-word in your heart and you're like, this is what I want to stand on, like, I didn't say, like, where did I talk about Joe's politics? I didn't even bring up his politics. And the Duggars are abusing...
because politics is a belief system. And you have boxed people up before. You've also sat on a live during the whole Trump thing and sat there and said, look, I might not like Trump, but that doesn't give you the right to unfollow me. Like, I'm not racist, or no, that wouldn't be it, would it? I'm not. Yeah, because you were anti-Trump. Too much. Like, didn't your mum ever tell you to leave politics and religion and shit at home? Don't ever bring it up, because like there's another topic as well. But anyway, those topics divide people. You never, like, oh, Okay. Can we just tuck them behind the ear?
Are in an abusive cult. So I don't know. I don't know if the power of words are comparing Black people to apes. That's actually a racist statement.
I can't even believe that you would just bring it up. Like, because again, you are bringing it up out of context, because we are going to have to rewatch it. That's not what went on. There's a difference between saying that and not realizing, or intentionally saying that, intentionally comparing them. I mean, it's been happening everywhere, but God, Katie, you just say, like, because you are losing your argument, you're just spitting out shit that you should not say. Repeat, like, why would, if that is what happened, why would you even repeat it so bluntly? That's ugh.
But I don't know, like, what somebody's politics are. I don't even, like, that doesn't matter. But I don't know what made you think I'm a Republican either. Like, nothing about who I am stands out as conservative. So I don't know why that even is relevant. I also don't really talk about politics, but I didn't think, the last time I checked, being racist shouldn't be political. But his video was racist. So how is me calling his comment racist me saying that he should be canceled? Again, is pointing out that somebody's comment as racist saying that someone should be canceled? No. If you can't, like, using the N-word is not okay. I don't know why how is that political? So.
Oh, sorry to pause it on the lean in. Katie, I would I don't know, my biggest political question, I know I should not bring politics to the table, but here we are, because why did you move into a conservative Republican county or area? Why didn't you move into an area where those people share the same beliefs as you and stuff and would vote? So putting up a pride flag, but even that didn't, that's not the storyline. That's not the true storyline. But you wanted it to provoke those people so you could play victim, in my opinion. But you're the dum-dum that moved. You brought this house as well when it had only been on the market for not long. Boom, needed that house. It's the shittest house in the thing. Can't do up the backyard too much. Okay, we are getting off track because it's too far forward. Someone put the seat too far forward, and here we are up against the windscreen.
Okay, so why does context matter when you call some people of color and you compare them to the Planet of the Apes? Like, how does that contextually matter? Like, that's not a statement you should be making. There's literally zero context where any...
You're not giving context. You are saying, like, what the fuck, man? People in the chat are saying you are speaking out of context, because that's all you can fucking focus on. There is no context with Katie ever. We have to play the clip again.
White person should be using the N-word, period. Contextually or not, it's just not appropriate. And he's apologizing for it, you guys, and he's recognizing that it's wrong. So why are you so up in arms that he's admitting he said it?
Oh, everyone's up in arms because, Katie, this is what context means, okay? We're going to have to replay the fucking clip. Just in case you're watching, Katie, just in case, but you know, you probably aren't. Well, just wait because I can't see the thing that says turn the volume on by clicking here. Where is it? Oh, silly me. I forgot to scroll down.
Tommy and his girlfriend, we got really high. We were in Philadelphia and we went to go see Planet of the Apes. And we didn't know where we were going. We just got dropped off by a cab and we got dropped off in this all black neighborhood. And I was trying to make the story entertaining. And I said, we got out and it was like we were in Africa. It's like we were in Planet of the Apes. I did not, nor would I ever say that black people are apes, but it sure fucking sounded like that. And I immediately afterwards said, that's a racist thing to say. Planet of the Apes wasn't even in Africa. I was just saying there's a lot of black people there. But then I went on to talk about what a positive experience it was and how much fun it was to go to see this movie in a black neighborhood. It wasn't a racist story. Another clip.
That's the awareness that you need. And that's the awareness that you hope every human being has, that you can recognize where you went wrong. I should never have said that. He didn't say exactly what Katie is saying. She's, you know, taken it out of fucking context and just gone with what she believes was the message. Imagine if he didn't have that awareness. That would be racist. He's able to see his wrongs and correct himself. That's what you want from people. It's people that can't even see that there is a boundary. People that don't even, you know, think twice, that keep going and think that that's fine. Imagine being a comedian and not having fucking awareness, writing jokes. You would be punched in the face fucking daily. Katie, you are fucking small-minded and you pissed the shit up. Imagine Katie being able to, like I said, have this kind of mind and the vulnerability. Because, yeah, he's admitting that he said that, but then he's also admitting that he realized he was wrong. Also, he's fucking high, you know, the shit that you say when you're high, you really hope that. But it was a story that he was telling. And you least realize that he went too far. But see how people are able to take stuff and just completely spin it around for their own. Like, I can't imagine not seeing this whole thing for what it is. I don't think she listened, but you can tell by what she says on the screen. But let's just go back to, should we? Well, where am I on time? Oh, nearly at an hour. Maybe we should. Yeah, so now we are going to, well, should we now? Let's go back one more time. We'll see if Katie's going to come to a little conclusion or she's just going to. Oops, oh my God, guys, I went for a little ride where I clicked the wrong button and I went out of the studio. Wham, bam, come back. But yeah, that's where I went. Let me just, shit. I pressed the wrong button back. What? No, where were we? Oh, I don't know. That doesn't look right.
He needs to be aware of who he's talking about and what he's saying. if you can't, like, person should be using the N-word, period. Contextually or not, it's just not appropriate.
My God, imagine saying it doesn't matter about context. I can't say contextual. Oh, I can, look at me. I might be better at speaking than I think. Katie, what the hell, man? It doesn't worry about doesn't matter about context. Doesn't matter about context. Get that tattooed. You should get a tattoo. Go on, Katie, do it. Yes, the back of the neck would be a perfect spot. I know, you're looking right down the barrel right now. Yeah, I feel ya. No, I don't really, but...
And he's apologizing for it, you guys. And he's recognizing that it's wrong. So why are you so up in arms that he's admitting he said it?
Why are you so up in arms? Because he's admitting that he said it. He's aware of the problem. You're the one that's taking it out of context. I don't see the fucking, what are we doing going round and round? My head fucking hurts right now.
Biden, why do you guys gaslight like that? Like, why would I talk about Biden? I'm not talking about the president of the United States. Of course, Biden has a history with like racist policy and racist behavior. I mean, he's like, what, how old is he? 80? He's almost 80 years old. Do you know when he was in the Senate, like racism was super common? I'm not saying that that's okay, but it's like times evolve and people change.
That is a beautiful conclusion to your absolute bull dang crap. God, awareness, where are you? We're needed over in the funeral waiting room. Katie Joy desperately needs a big dump of awareness right now to end on that beautiful line. I can't even remember what it was because that's how much I checked out. Because, yeah, you turn my brain into mashed potatoes and I'm sure it was brilliant. I know it was because I'm talking about it, but Katie, at least I'm honest. Oh, yeah, because people grow and change. Yeah, so you were just honing on Joe Rogan for something that he did ages ago. How dare he have the awareness that he has when I'm pointing my pulsing finger. And now we are going to go watch a clip from Joe Rogan. I'll link this down below. It's just from the Joe Rogan Experience clips because there's like, multiple YouTube channels. And this is one with, so it's from October 2020 and it's with a psychologist. Katie, guess what they're talking about? Oh, it's a good topic when it comes to you, narcissism. And just in my opinion, I believe Cardi, I believe Katie Joy Paulson, but there's no joy ever, but there's an N-joy, and the N is silent, the E-N. Yeah, it makes it hard to understand. I'm really stalling, but this is the good bit. I saved the best till last. Let's just go to Joe Rogan, having a little chin wag, psychologist.
I've lost 20.
Oh, don't give me an ad. And then don't.
The Joe.
Oh, Katie. I'm not saying anything right there. So yeah, psychologist W. Keith Campbell breaks down the different forms of narcissism. We're just going to listen to the first 6.5 minutes. Might put it on a little fast. Hopefully I got my microphone on. It'd be put it on. Yeah, well, if you guys talk at a normal speed. Yeah, let's just go. Oh God, I love this. This is my world. Katie.
The Rogan Experience.
Is there any evolutionary benefit to narcissism? Like, where does that come from? Because does it exist in the animal kingdom?
Yes. So if you think about it from an evolutionary perspective, which some people have, narcissism seems to be really good for short-term mating success. Like if I go to a bar in downtown Austin and I give narcissism questionnaires to all the dudes there, the higher scores are going to get the most numbers over time. That's usually what happens. So narcissism is usually good for short-term mating, and it's good for status seeking, power seeking. So it's probably beneficial in those contexts. And this is where it gets a little weird, because in stable environments, like in research in hunter-gatherer societies, in stable environments, if somebody's, you know, cheating on other people's wives or stealing stuff or steals extra food, people don't like that. They'll just kill them. I mean, they'll just go have a hunting accident. If you're kind of the dick in the hunter-gatherer society, they'll take you out and you just won't come back because they just don't want you.
Right.
But so narcissism gets weeded out in those places. But when things get unstable and things are uncertain, people who are narcissistic can get a lot of resources and do really well. So sometimes they do well, which keeps it around. And obviously in big societies, you can become powerful enough to hire henchmen and hire a PR agent, and you can kind of build your own status and do a lot more than you can in a hunter-gatherer group where everyone knows you.
What is narcissism when you define it? Like, what is your definition of narcissism?
So it gets a little more complicated. When we're talking like this, I'm talking about grandiose narcissism, and that's a basic.
There's more than one kind of narcissism.
Yeah, I'll step back. So when we talk about narcissism in the psychological literature, we're talking about three different things that are related. The first of these is narcissistic personality, and this is a trait. And meaning that people go from a high level to a low level. It's not a clinical disorder. And in this trait, when it's grandiose, we say grandiose narcissism, it's this combination of sense of entitlement and a sense of superiority, but also you get extroversion and drive and ambition, call it agentic extroversion. So somebody who's driven and extroverted, but also a little bit self-centered and antagonistic and entitled. So that combination of traits, kind of a prima donna or, overconfident or cocky or whatever you want to call it, that's what we talk about is grandiose narcissism. And that's just like I said, normal trait. There's another form of narcissism, which we don't talk about as much.
Okay. He does a really weird explanation, like from how I have like put it in my brain for breaking down the difference. But in the end, he does get to my point that I want to make, that it all, like Katie, she has bits of the vulnerable narcissist as well, because she's so fucking insecure and can't understand why people wouldn't give her the attention, because she's so like the power thing and the need for power comes from her insecurities. But we'll listen to him, and I just needed to say my little bit because
in the normal world, but that's vulnerable narcissism. And these are the folks that are kind of think they're really important, think they should be getting a lot of attention, think they're the smartest people in the room, but no one really looks at them. No one pays attention to them. So they get insecure, they get depressed, their self-esteem drops. They think, why am I getting the attention I deserved? I'm kind of a legend. It's a legend in their own minds. So you talk about it's like basement narcissists, living in their mom's basement, thinking how great they are and fantasizing about it. And those more vulnerable folks, you don't see at the bars as much because they're in the basement, but you see them clinically because they're depressed and they go see a clinician and say, help me out, I'm anxious. So those are the two normal forms of narcissism, their traits. And then there's this clinical form or psychiatric form called narcissistic personality disorder, NPD. And that personality disorder form of narcissism is an extreme form of narcissism. You have a high level of it, like Trump or, a lot of people, celebrities or, academics. But you also, to make it a clinical disorder, you have to have that impairment we're talking about. So it has to be clinically significant impairment. And that's usually the narcissism is so bad, your marriage, your relationships are falling apart. Your work life could be falling apart. So sometimes you find narcissistic, really successful people in offices who are narcissists, but they kind of destroy the office culture. They're just bad workers. And so you can just.
That's Katie. She doesn't know she's destroying her own business by, not having a personal and business separate account. She'll just like go on her Twitter rants and like, my haters, and everyone's like, drop it, blah, blah. But she's ruining her own. She doesn't care about her, is she, reputation. Oh, I got there in the end. Can't see it.
Destroy that. You can make really poor decisions because your ego's so big. You just, overinvest in something and it just doesn't work out for you. So you start dysregulating your financial decisions. So you can make kind of those kind of mistakes. The big ones are usually interpersonal. But when you have that kind of impairment, it can be a disorder and then you get treated for it.
The vulnerable personality disorder is fascinating.
Yeah.
That's a fascinating one because you see a lot of that on social media in particular, right? You see people that feel like they should be getting more attention than they are and don't understand why and feel upset by that or shortchanged.
Social media is.
If you've got popcorn nearby, this is good. This is the laughing moment. This is the cha-ching on point, PAULSON finger pointing moment.
Such a strange beast because it gives everybody the chance to have a camera and have the audience of 1 billion people. So I could go on there and get a billion audience, but I have to earn that. And so you have lots of people that go, look, I can have 1 billion people in my audience, but I don't have those people. Why aren't they there? Who's screwing me over and not giving where are my followers? You know,
I
why
saw
aren't I
a guy
getting
the other day
followers?
talking about being shadow banned, and he had 1,000 friends. And I'm like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure you're shadow banned? Are you sure people are just not interested in what you're saying?
Yeah,
Like,
maybe you're just not that interesting.
but that's the weirdest thing to ever say. Like, I'm being shadow banned.
'Cause
Like, do you have evidence of this? Like, what is happening here?
well, you're kind of an outlaw. It's got a
This
lot-
is not saying that shadow banning is not real, but like people are using that as an excuse for why they're not getting the attention that they deserve.
Right. I would be the next Joe Rogan if it weren't for those dastardly shadow banners
Yeah, they're
taking me
holding you
down,
back.
holding me back.
They know that they can't silence me.
They can't. Yeah. That if I got out there, I would change the world. But these guys are holding me back.
Yeah,
And you can see how that turns into like a delusional
Mhm.
system. If you get, with sort of more schizophrenia, where there's a whole world of people out there trying to hold me down.
Yeah, I want to get to that too.
Yeah.
I wanted to
Oh, I never see, I'm just focused on the narcissism, but the delusions are real. So I wouldn't be surprised if she branches around in there with her. Well, there's no. Oh, wow. It's Katie in a tea. And also through that whole thing, like she's saying, I've got all these haters and shit coming for me, basically blaming them for like this, and also the shadow banning. Oh my God, she's done that. I must be shadow banned. I'm not getting views. I can't go live on Instagram because I'm not monetized, but I'll go on there and I'll tell you that, look, I can go on here, but you don't anymore. Why don't you anymore? But I mean, her Instagram has the amount, because of all the stuff that she posted last November, all the details and stuff, and what eyes were drawn to that outside of the Without a Crystal Ball community. Yeah. Instagram would have been aware of the traffic and where that traffic was coming from, and it wasn't a good place. Yes. She was talking and enjoying that moment with a lot of other people that were fucking enjoying that too. So I'm just like, well, how did we get here? Well, there's a long, long list of ways that we ended up here. Should we just see what they say? Okay.
ask you if schizophrenia, we might as well get to it now. Is there a connection between schizophrenia and narcissism? Because many people who are schizophrenic have these grandiose ideas of who they are or who they should be or where they fit in that are these ridiculously distorted perceptions of reality.
Yeah. So grandiosity, you can see with narcissism, with the, I have this fantasy about how great I am, this illusion, but it's usually within the scope of reality. So if I'm talking to somebody narcissistic, they're like, I'm a 10, I'm pretty awesome. I'm like, not really, man. You're just not, you're okay, but like maybe go back to the gym, but it's usually not, it's not crazy.
Right.
I was working in a hospital with a woman who was a patient who said that she was the tooth fairy, and she worked for Reagan as the tooth fairy. I thought, well, that's a grandiose delusion. Reagan wasn't president, but he was still helping her behind the scenes. That's a grandiose delusion, but you wouldn't call that narcissistic because she wasn't really, her personality was really narcissistic. She was more schizophrenic in her presentation, kind of flat affect, a little bit strange, odd or unusual, anhedonia, sort of lack of feeling and stuff, but those weird delusions. So you can have those grandiose delusions, but it's not quite the same as narcissism. It seems to be working a little differently. And the other place you see them is mania, with like bipolar disorder. People get really manic and they get these manic phases and they're like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to build this. I'm going to take over this. My record's going to be the best. And that mania can look like narcissism too. And those are probably more closely linked.
Yeah. I'm going to leave it here. I'll link this below. But yeah, it's basically Katie. And this is a good, maybe should we just keep listening? It's 4 minutes. I mean, we're moving at a good pace. It's a clip. No. I want to get off now. No. Look, something in my hand is idle hand right now, and it wants to click play. So I'm just going to let it do that. I don't know. Is that the brain controlling the hand or the heart? Katie, I'm just being stupid. But their background, oh my God, I feel like I'm in Ship to Shore. Anyone from like my state listening, Ship to Shore. I don't think it was Australia wide, was it? Shouldn't have been.
The psychological disorders that we're aware of, the ones like narcissism, the ones like schizophrenia, like, do we know what's happening in the mind that causes a distortion of reality? Is it Is it ego protecting you from the truth? Is it a chemical imbalance? Is it a series of things that all coincide? Like when you have someone who's both a narcissist and possibly schizophrenic.
With narcissism, it's very hard to detect anything that's sort of clearly biological, like and this is true for all personality, really. People have been looking at this last 5 years pretty hard for sort of biomarkers or neural structures. You don't really see them very clearly. You do with schizophrenia. There's some.
What is it with schizophrenia?
And I was going to say, it's not my area, and I don't want to.
Okay.
Actually, Jamie, if I say anything wrong, just check me and call me out because I don't want to screw up.
He's
anything.
the best one-handed Googler on earth.
Please do that. Because there's that. There's the old stuff about kind of plaque in the brain and things like with Alzheimer's. You see some missing neural structure, but that's just out of my area.
I understand.
But with personality, you generally don't see it in there. You just can't find it so far. And when you look at genetics, you know it's in the genes, but there's no single genes. It's like a swarms of genes.
So it isn't. So if your father is a narcissist, are you more or less likely to be a narcissist?
More.
But what if you learn from your father? You're like, my God, my father's ruined his life. Like many alcoholics have children that won't touch liquor, and I've known quite a few of them.
Yeah. So in the clinical literature, they talk about that as sort of that sort of identify with them, or you do the opposite of the father. So the alcoholic father, like you said, you're like, I'm a teetotaler, or your father's a narcissist, you become really nice.
Yeah.
We don't really see that. What you tend to see, I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't happen because I know it happens, but what you tend to see in the literature with these big family studies is that traits like narcissism and all personality and really all mental disorders, they tend to follow family lines. So they're heritable. But it's not really clear how that happens.
So whether it's nurture or nature.
Right. I mean, it's.
Yeah. And that's like when he's like, I'm not familiar with all the brain makeup and stuff. That's where, one of my favorite Joe Rogan episodes, like my number one, like, oh my God, Rupert Sheldrake, when he had him on, and I wasn't even into biology or the makeup of genes and cells and everything, but this guy talked about that for 2 hours, and I went out and I brought his whole, like, all his books, and I read them. And so, for fun, I was reading about genes and like DNA makeup and stuff, and how, like experience what your, so what your parents and your grandparents and beyond have all experienced, there is a part that is linked through, like it's like emotional or something. I can't think right now because I just want to go and listen to this whole episode. But, oh my gosh, in my opinion, Katie's mum might have also had narcissism, but that's just fucking speculative. I believe that it was one of the parents that had it or something. And because I like her brother is the golden child. He is like everything that they wanted. Like he went what they wanted, academically. Like he's a scientist now or something, but he was really smart. And Katie, didn't live up to their expectations. And this is just me diagnosing Katie, but I'm not diagnosing. I'm just like putting a label on you. Actually, I'm putting a post-it note, okay? So it can blow off. Okay, thank you. Keith Campbell. God, the background is just totally making me feel like I'm in Ship to Shore. Oh, what a show. Okay, how do I get out of here? Thank you and good night. Okay, bring it back to my cookie. Oh, well, I hope that we got somewhere. I think we did. And how dare she go after Joe Rogan? How dare she not even, like, if she was going to go after him, she should have at least listened to a few of his stuff. Oh, pardon me. Sorry, I think I might have just burped in my throat, but it didn't, it was an internal burp. Does that like come up on mics? Sorry. Oh, what's happened? Oh no, is something happened? Oh no, in chat. Are you guys still there or not? Oh no. Let me have a look. Because I'm just like going back. I just went back like 5 minutes and it says you can't hear me. Is everything good now? Does someone in chat want to say, can you hear me at all? Maybe when I went somewhere. Let me just have a look. Oh, you didn't see the clip. Oh, the screen was blank? Oh, did you hear it? Oh, you can hear me, but did you hear the clip? Oh, why? Why? I wonder if it's like made so you can't share it, or maybe it was a fuck up on my end. Could you hear the clip? Oh, it cut out. It cut off. Oh, damn it. Okay, well, we can always, I'll link it below anyway. Oh, you could hear me, but not what was in the clip. Oh, thanks, E. Oh, that's a bit fucking disappointing, isn't it? Damn it. Oh, so for 12 minutes? No. Oh, you didn't hear anything. Okay, I might have to cut the end off of this live and then I'll post the, we will go through this video. We'll go through this video in another live. Should we start the live now? Let's start the live where we go through this video and then I can link it in the timestamps and I'll say like, yeah, so it stops here and then I can link it. Is that smart thinking or... Yes, I think we will do that. Yeah, YouTube. Maybe. Okay. Okay, so what we'll do is because like it just cut out that whole clip, I'm going to end this live and I'm going to start a new one and there'll be a link. But you won't hear me because I would have, you know, provided the link in the timestamps and you just jump across and then watch it there. I'm going to make the good, smart decision there because it's really important to hear what, unless like halfway through they realize that I was streaming Joe Rogan and there's a little bit of controversial shit going on, like in the big scheme of things. Put some Cactus context in there. Okay, guys. Well, thank you. Or you won't get to this bit, but maybe I'll edit out what you don't. This will be the end. Okay. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. You can subscribe as well, become part of the Cactus crew. But yes, I'm going to put the ending up and I'll see you in 5 minutes if not. But yeah, link in the below's part. Thanks, crew, for letting me know, and I'll be back soon.